Hello friendly people of the internet, I am Hyper Superstore and welcome back to Remembering Avatar, where I talk about the Avatar episodes completely from my memory, and then I watch it to see what I got wrong. Today, we're tackling Zuko alone. This is one of my favorite episodes of the season. To make up for the fact that he didn't show up in the last episode, he takes all of this episode. Greedy whore. So what is the plot of Zuko alone? Well, Zuko is in fact alone. Starts off on his travels. He's starving, and Frank isn't doing much help other than thinking, man, you'll make some good chicken wings. Sees two people on the side of the road, is ready to rob them with his swords, and then he realizes the woman is pregnant. Remember this couple. They come up surprisingly often. But he gets to a new town, asks, hey, can this get me some feed and something to eat? It can get you 2 bags of feed. That's about it. Then the jerk soldiers try to rob him. I think they're successful, but Zuko intimidates them enough where it's just like, okay, let's be careful around this one. But some kids pick some fight with soldiers, the sucky ones that didn't actually go to fucking war. And Zuko's just like, alright, you want to fight? I'll fucking fight. As a thanks for not ratting out the troublesome kid takes him to his home where he gets a place to stay, a meal, and a nice place to stay for the night. He forms a bond with this kid, he helps out a bit. Then eventually, the kid's name is Lee, which is kind of troublesome since that's the alias Zuko has been using. I would have just stuck with it. It's just like, shouldn't be too hard to forget it's mine too. But that could just be because I have a really common name. Anyway, he bonds with the little kid and gives him the knife. The importance of the knife happens a little bit later. But this knife, made in Earth Kingdom. Other side, never give up without a fight. The kid pulls on the soldiers, gets them into trouble, and Zuko goes to fight the soldiers to protect them. Unfortunately, he's unsuccessful while fighting the Earthbender with no bending. Thus, I will transition into what else happens. We learn about Zuko's backstory, or at least his early childhood. His mother being a kind and gentle person, his sister taking more after his dad being kind of cruel and vindictive, to the point where throwing bread at turtle ducks the way she feeds them. Also, turtle ducks are fucking adorable. I want one. Anyway. See that little May has always had a crush on Zuko. That his mother has always been the one to reassure him throughout life. And he got the knife from Uncle Iroh when he, broke Ba Sing Se. Never give up without a fight. And Azula got a doll, which she promptly set on fire. Her fire is not blue yet. Uh-oh. But again, father doesn't like him, mother does. And at this point, coming across, Iroh's coming home because his son, Liu Tang, died. I think I pronounced that right. We'll find out in a later episode, which I will start crying immediately. Anyway. Azula couldn't give less of a shit. It's just like, why didn't he burn the entire city to the ground? Zuko is a lot more understanding. It's just like, his only son just died. Unfortunately, Iroh ceases to capitalize on this opportunity of his, nephew being dead. Says to Fire Lord Azula, yes, Azula, as in Ozai's father and Azula's grandfather, Azula. Couldn't think of anything else. Okay. It's not even a family name. Anyway, I guess it could be. We know Sozin, we know Azula, we know Ozai, Iroh, Zuko, and the only one that comes up twice is Azula. Okay. Make me Fire Lord because my kids are still alive. Iroh just lost a son. Kill yours and find out how you feel. And then maybe I'll let you be Fire Lord. And Ozai's just like, cool! And is ready to kill him. Fortunately enough, and we learned this through supplementary material, I will admit, that instead of Zuko getting killed, his mother is just banished, and Azula, Grandpa, dies. So Zuko's left with a father figure that hates him, an uncle that isn't in his right frame of mind right now, and his demon of a sister. Uncle Iroh needs to speedrun his enlightenment trip so Zuko can have somebody. Which, doesn't happen until that. But his mother, Ursa, has some final words for him before she goes. Never forget who you are. To which Zuko wakes up from his dream, came back into the fight, and remembers, oh yeah, I can firebend! Unleashes the fury and kicks the ass of the fucking bully. Says who he is, tries to help the kid who he liked earlier, who he built a bond with. And he goes, no, I hate you. He is the Prince of the Fire Nation. He reveals who he is, and everybody in this town hates him. Wants him to leave. He leaves without a fight. But man, is that a somber note to end on. Just the kid that he's built a bond with this entire episode. Just going, no, I hate you. Just because he's a firebender. And just because of that, really. Just because he is the Prince of the Fire Nation. Just because he's a firebender. They go from, yeah, he's a great guy. Hi, I told you he'd come. To, I hate you and I want you gone. Rather somber ending, rather downer one. It's just like, wow. And I will say the quote, but I won't say the book because fuck that book. Fuck that author and fuck that franchise. Just because you know who they are doesn't mean you should treat them any differently than you did. But in that case, it was Rain Cost's famous person, which I guess Zuko is famous or infamous. So, yeah, this episode's amazing. What else do you want me to say? This episode is great, so let's get into it so I can tell you more reasons why it's great. Okay, so just got done watching the episode, and yeah, this episode's fantastic. We've all heard it before. The world building with us traveling through a battlefield. The couple with the baby on the way, Zuko wanting to rob them, it doesn't. Them wanting to hand out food for standing up to the bully soldiers. Hers, him refusing at first, and then he works to earn it. He gotta earn his keep, I respect that. It's something I go by myself in life. Gotta earn that shit. We also see that Zuko made for like a good substitute older brother because the current little kid's older brother, Lee, his brother is off in the war. His battalion's been captured, blah, blah, blah. So Zuko kind of fills in that big brother slot for a little bit. Maybe like a day or two. And we see that Zuko does make a good older brother now. Didn't so much when he was younger, but now he's learned. To be fair, can't really be a good older brother to Azula, who was a psychopath at the age of 8. Maybe 6. Also, Ursa got banished. Not sure if I was clear on that, because the show was vague about it. See, it was all part of the plan. But yeah, he gives the little kid the knife. He pulls it on the soldiers for being dumb. And they basically kidnap him, saying, well, if you're old enough to fight, you're old enough to join the war. basically throwing their problem at something else. We also see in the field, Heal the Mom gets Zuko to help. Just like he has to repeat to himself over and over again. Azula always lies. Azula always lies. Azula always lies. Yeah, the best lies have some truth to them. Also, a little detail I pointed out that it's maybe a retcon later on is that Fire Lord Azula, Grandpa, only was Fire Lord for like 23 years. I think that gets retconned later on, but Sozin lived for a long ass time if that was the case. So from ever how old Zuko is now to 15 now, and Fire Lord Azulon only happened for 23 years. And if Ozai... back of the napkin math, but I'm pretty sure got retconned later on. Ozai, Azula, Sozin lived for a long ass time. But yeah, knocked on back of the head, triggers final memory, is just like, never forget who you are. That was the final one. And he uses firebending to kick the ass of the bully. Who are you? Prince Zuko. And it's just like, something that pisses me off severely is how the entire village turns their back on Zuko because they know he's a firebender now. He's the prince of the Fire Nation. And yeah, while he leaves without a fight or anything like that, other than the soldiers that he just kicked the asses of, it's just like, here's the thing I'd like to point out. He could take whatever he wanted from you. He could kill all of you. He didn't. He helped on the farm. And yet, when you learn he's a firebender, immediate hatred. I hate those people. They get what they deserve now. Also, he takes down the non-benders without even needing to fully unsheath his sword. That's pretty funny. But yeah, this episode is fucking fantastic. Watch it for yourself. I can't do it justice. There are plenty of other smarter reviewers than I am that understand why this episode works on so many levels. But honestly, just watch it for yourself. Leave a like on the video if you like Zuko alone. The like video is going to be amazing at that point. Comment down below what you thought of Zuko alone. Amazing. And subscribe to see more of me being alone. And hit that little notification bell to see when I upload all the time. Until next time in Hyper Super Sora, sayonara.